Hey, what's going on? This is Ben with Bad OTP, and we got the rendezvous in the Ozarks coming up in a couple of weekends, so that means we got to get the truck ready. I reckon it'd be a pretty good time to replace my old and tired CV axle. Got a new one from Olathe Auto Parts up here, and we're gonna swap it out. Oops. Damn. This is what 99% of all of my projects consist of. It's just finding stuff that I sat down and I can't find again. Good old-fashioned bungee cord. You all know the drill. Got a brake line here. Can't crimp it. That'll work. So these are the rough country 1.5 inch spacers. I should get a mallet. that's not good. Should have known that was coming. Perfect. So what's next? I gotta take this cap off. But once we get this off, we're ready to take that giant castle nut off, and then we are on our way to removing the CV axle. So I've gotten in here several times with this truck, so I try to just look for the spaces that I've already slightly damaged. Okay, let me clean this up and we'll get a better look. Cool. So, right here in this ring, that's what you're going for. You can kind of see I've chiseled it out there. I had to do a little bit there. You go around the whole thing, so there's going to be several marks. But wherever you can kind of reuse the same little damaged dent, I think it kind of helps preserve the longevity of the part. Okay, now we're gonna work it around the circle a little bit. You gotta hit it just right, just nice and perpendicular. You know, don't be dumb. Help yourself wherever you can. I should have done that first. Continue to work around the circle. All right, here we go. You can see, I mean, it dented that in a little bit, and that's just kind of the price you got to pay. Now I go over a little bit, not too much to where you don't have a gap anymore, but to where the gap is less, and you can, again, wedge it out. You'd think this hasn't been taken off in 20 years. Okay. Cool. So here's what we got. Got the big cotter pin. We've got this, I think this is the castle nut, yeah. It's not threaded, it just slips over. Anyways, cotter pin out, take this off, then you can take this bad boy, which I'm gonna start my air compressor because I might need the big tools for that. Now I do have extra cotter pins, but I am going to try to reuse these because these larger ones I have less of. So you can see here, I mean, it's not wonderful. I would not recommend reusing something like this, but I think I'm okay with it. Boom. This comes out, and we are left with a nut that is really gonna need some penetrant. And again, I mean, I've been in here pretty recently, so maybe I'll get lucky. 35 mil. It's the only thing that works. Only thing that works? What the hell am I talking about? Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, let's get it, hit it. That was torqued to spec too. Okay, so the CV axle is free. Okay. My jack stands are in the absolute worst place. What am I doing? You all know the drill.
Fill plug first, just to get that happy feeling. Make sure you're not going to screw yourself. Beautiful. So now that this is loosened up, we know that we're going to be able to fill it. And we already have the 75W90. Oh, look at that, guys. That needed to be done. It was done probably, if I had to guess, 3,000 or 4,000 miles ago, if that. But I'll tell you what, it feels good knowing that that's going to be fresh after this. Okay. And I know there's a torque spec on this thing, but I'm going to do the snug but don't rip out the threads. I think that ought to work. Hello, jack stand. I did not come at this. I thought I would try it from this direction to kind of give the viewers a better angle. Woo. Okay, I'm gonna have one extra step that I gotta do. 19 mil, way too big. Let's try 17. Oops, just right. This part, it sucks. Not gonna lie.
Welcome back to day 2 in the garage. So as you can see, the truck is back put together behind me. The truck is rebuilt with the old CD axle back in. The new CD axle I still have, it's out in my garage, but the threads got deformed when I was tapping on it. Okay, while I was banging on it yesterday. So here's what happened since I stopped recording. I decided that I was gonna have to have it tapped. So I was like, I don't wanna mess with it. I'm just gonna call some of my local shops and just ask, hey, will you tap this for me, or just chase the threads? That's all I need. It's not that bad. And I got met with like, either no, we can't do it, we don't have the capabilities or the tools, or I mean, we can do it, but we're not going to because of liability issues, which, you know, fair enough. So I do it. Any ChatGPT subscriber in 2025 that learned how to do stuff on his truck with YouTube, I did what that person would do, and I asked, hey ChatGPT, what's the size of the threaded axle on my CD axle? And it knows everything about my truck. I actually gave it in that question, I said, this is the actual OEM part number that I was using. So it knew what truck it was going on, it knew the OEM part number, it knew everything. I said, there's no way it gets this wrong. This information is readily available on the internet. I'm just too lazy to get it myself. So, like any good computer program, it came back with an answer, and it was confident. It said, I got you, fam. It is M24 by 1.5, meaning that it is 24 millimeters in diameter, and the pitch or the spacing between the threads is 1.5 millimeters. So I thought, okay, M24 by 1.5. Let's see if anybody has it. So I went to my favorite place, Harbor Freight, not sponsored, and I wanted to see if they had any kits that had that. And sure enough, the biggest, most expensive kit that they had went up to M24 and had the 1.5 size tap. So it was going to be exactly what I needed. So I thought, hooray! And I spent the money on it. And which, I mean, look at this. Like, I'm not mad about having this. This was like 90 bucks. And there are plenty of things in my truck that could use a nice tap. But what it won't do is work for my CD axle, because it's actually not the right size. So go me for trusting ChatGPT and then ending up with an expensive tap and die set that was not going to even solve my problem at all. So I was back to square one. It is definitely M28 by 1.5. So that's like the last time I'm going to let it tell me what the right part or the right size or the right specification is on my truck, because that is not the first time it's happened, and it is wrong probably more than it is right. So before I started using ChatGPT to kind of help me identify replacement parts, I had like a, I don't know, 90-95% accuracy on researching the parts myself and buying them, and they were almost always right, unless I just clicked on left side instead of right side, something like that. But it has been like the last couple of times I've tried it with ChatGPT, it has been wrong and wrong. So Don't do it. Please save yourself the frustration. Anyways, so here I was, I've got the truck put back together, and that's a whole other thing because it's like I haven't even started the project now. I'm further behind than before I started setting up cameras to start it yesterday. But I still didn't have a way to get my threads chased, and I needed my truck to be able to go do things around town that needed to get done. So I started looking on Amazon for an M28 by 1.5. And what do you know? There was one single option to have an overnight delivery M28 by 1.5. So today's plan, we're gonna get those threads chased on the new CV axle. And as long as that goes smoothly, then we are just going to, nice and easy, get the truck back apart, replace that. I have learned the proper way to put it in since last time. I got lucky. I've done this probably 3 times because I've rebuilt a couple of axles and then I replaced the one on the left side. But now I'm replacing the second one because the truck has 430,000 miles on it, and I would honestly not be surprised if that was the original OEM CV axle that's still in there. It's got slop for days. I mean, it's gross. So anyways, now that I have a better understanding of what I was doing wrong with the CV axle before, oh, that's what I was gonna say. You know, back when I was sitting there tapping it, sitting there beating it in, trying to get it in, but it wouldn't go. I mean, well, so what I learned, and what you probably already saw with the cameras looking up at it from the front, was that I was trying to take the CV axle at like this angle and put it into the drive shaft at this angle, and I was just banging the crap out of it, and it was not gonna work. It looked like it was straight from my angle. So when I was putting the old one back in, I kind of shifted my tactic, and I looked at it from the front side and I could see that it was sagging. This kind of thing is more of a precision game than a brute force game. I decided to go from the front where I didn't have a lot of good leverage to give it good whacks on the side, but I was able to hold it, get it nice and aligned by hand, and then with a long reach, just tap, tap, tap with a mallet, not with a lot of force, but it, sure enough, that snap ring compressed, it slipped into the splines, and it was beautiful. So as long as the threads chase and end up usable and nice, I'm going to just get the truck taken back apart, easy peasy, get that put back in, and we're gonna be done. Done, done, done. Okay, so here we go. Tell y'all, I am tired. But now that I am pretty confident that we have a properly threaded axle here, I know that I will actually be able to do the job. So I'm gonna go get some breakfast, and I'll be back in a minute.
Use that again. See it? It's not how you're supposed to do it. We're at a sign point. Now, this is also the part where if the truck falls, I die.
All right, well, we're at the final push. We got the new CB axle installed. It's in there. Of course, it wasn't gonna work until the cameras were off, but we're looking good. Believe it or not, I'm ready to be done with this damn project. This is the moment of truth.
fantastic. Oh, it's just fantastic. Forward. Any second now. Oh yeah, there she goes. She's full.
All right, we did it. Job that should have taken a couple hours, took a couple of days, but that's how it goes. So the important thing is we got it done, learned some lessons, and I will summarize those lessons and make sure that you don't have to mess with the same kind of issues that I did. All right, so now that the truck's back together, next stop is Rendezvous in the Ozarks, so we'll see y'all there.